Okay, I wasn't going to cover this again, but then this happened.
At Carlos's house. This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm gonna be live streaming and I'm gonna be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz, who Carlos Diaz is. I'm gonna be talking about all the people he's affiliated with. I'm gonna be talking about how he got into my building. I'm gonna talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready. He just answered the door. So I know this is him for sure, right here. I'm not scared of you, Carlos. I'm not scared.
If you don't know who that is, it's Ben Armstrong, also known as BitBoy Crypto. He's a multimillionaire, or rather was a multimillionaire. His business partners basically took over his company, and now it's debatable how much he has left. And you might say, that's insensitive. You shouldn't be talking about this. And, you would be right if Ben Armstrong hadn't systematically ripped people off and cost them their life savings for years on end, which makes it a little bit more okay. See, I'm not alone here, but I've been warning about this guy for a long ass time. I've compared him to Icarus, talked about the inevitable implosion of his entire life, and if you want to get really specific, on September 24th, I said this. At this stage, if I had to guess, the guy's going to end up in prison. He is. But for now, it's just a never-ending clown show of industry embarrassment personified in the worst possible way. From the point of me saying that, it took him one day. BitBoy hasn't stayed behind bars, no, but it took him one day after I said that to get himself locked up, and to be completely honest, if the entire thing happened on purpose, he might be a creative genius. How do I even begin to describe this? Alright, I'll give it my best shot. BitBoy decided somehow that planning a live stream publicly on his YouTube channel and advertising it as taking place outside the house of his former business partner was a smart thing to do. Why is that so bad, you might ask? Simple. He shows up at this guy's house who supposedly extorted him for his Lamborghini, which he claims is inside the garage, and starts screaming about him out on the front lawn. Wait, rewind. He shows up, goes to the door, rings the doorbell, and then does this. But hang on now, this is how he describes what just happened. The footage of him waddling off screen as fast as he can? Here's how he describes that.
I go knock on the door and you know what he does? He turns and he runs because he's a pussy.
That is a fantastic way to start the evening. Actually, he started the evening by live streaming himself in the truck on his way there. That part's almost even better.
Crypto! Hey, ask me how I'm doing. Ask me how I'm doing. Go ahead. Ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing better than ever right now, while I know that my boss has basically extorted and blackmailed and launched a freaking coup.
Still, let's keep it all moving, faster pace for this one. He's outside this guy's house, yelling and yelling about all the things that Carlos said or did or lied about, and just live streaming his tantrum for the world to see, until he gets to a part where he says this.
He claims that he works directly for the head of the Houston Mafia, which, guys, it's not a surprise. I'm not doxing anybody. It's James Prince. James, I have nothing against you. I don't know what you've done. I don't know what your association with Carlos is, but Carlos is out here telling people that you ordered him to kill people, okay? Just so you guys know, Mike Will, Carlos is here on your behalf saying that you are telling him to kill me, okay? Saying James Prince from the Houston Mafia is threatening to kill me. That he's people for them, okay?
So now supposedly the mafia's involved. That's fun. That's really fun. He's just casually talking about contract murder on the street in front of a man's home, live streaming it on YouTube. What could possibly happen next?
Carlos Diaz, the man that has my Lamborghini, the man that extorted me for my Lamborghini, the man who death threatened me, took my Lamborghini. This is who you're with. They told me that defensive end. Let me tell you what Carlos said. Charles Grant used to play for Georgia, played for the Saints. Charles Grant, apparently, Carlos told me that on the last day of the season, before you got your big contract, that Carlos paid off with the Mafia one of the offensive linemen for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And on the last day of the season, The offensive lineman, because he was involved, they had leverage and they extorted him as well. He had to let Charles Grant get all these sacks at the end of the season. So what happens? Charles Grant gets the sacks, okay? And he has 5 sacks on the last day of the season. You guys look this up. I haven't looked it up. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just telling you what he told me, okay? And I hate to throw a Georgia dog under the bus, but he is a Saint, so sorry, Charles, okay? Charles Grant's been in our building filming stuff. I know he knows him, okay? Charles Grant, formerly of Georgia Bulldogs, New Orleans Saints, okay? So what happens is that on the last day of season, the offensive lineman, because of extortion and leverage, and go look up when Charles Grant got his big contract, and you'll see what year it was, and our football fans, you guys can look it up. He tells me the offensive lineman, because of leverage, lets Charles Grant get 5 sacks, and it leads to him having an incredible sack talent. If you guys watch football, having 5 sacks is hard to do for a season. He got it in 1 game, and then he got the biggest defensive end contract in history right afterwards.
The man has my Lamborghini. I mean, there it is. That seems to be the root of the issue here now, doesn't it? I can't even talk about it. I don't know. I'm having a really hard time even reading the script that I wrote. He has this entire segment about Charles Grant and how Charles Grant only got his big NFL contract because Carlos and the Mafia paid people off. One of the offensive linemen on the Jacksonville Jaguars, I guess, is who got paid off, to make it so that Charles Grant could get 5 sacks on the last day of the season. BitBoy says, you can go look this up, and then hastily adds, I haven't looked this up. I'm just telling you what he told me. And surprise, surprise, surprising no one, Charles Grant never even had 5 sacks on the final day of any season. One of 2 things must be true. Either A, BitBoy is telling the truth and just never bothered to check a single thing ever and believed absolutely everything a pathological liar told him, or B, BitBoy is completely unhinged and just making things up as he goes along. Now, one might say that one of these potential outcomes can be better or worse than the other, but let's remember that this guy was one of the biggest crypto influencers in the entire world. Hundreds of thousands of people listened to him. An impossible to calculate but substantial number of people listened to him when it came to what projects to buy or where to put their money, like financial decisions. And he would tell everyone how much research he and his team put into finding the best projects and tokens. But he never bothered to check whether or not the guy telling him that he was a hitman for the Mafia was making up ridiculous NFL statistics. Like, easily verifiable things that can be checked with 5 seconds on Google. This guy was one of the largest crypto influencers in the entire industry? All right, bet. Okay, I'm going to be just fine in life if that is able to succeed.
Did you hear Carlos on the phone? Did you hear? It's organized crime. I just told you who he says he's with. He claims he works with the BMF, the Black Mafia. The Black Mafia, either the Black Mafia BMF has taken over my building, or Carlos Diaz is working solely and he's using his contacts within the Black Mafia to make it seem like he's someone significant, a significant player. He claims, go look on Twitter, go see the video that I posted of Twitter of Bob Arum, a boxing promoter, discussing what occurred when a bunch of thugs went into Floyd Mayweather's gym and beat up everybody in the gym with baseball bats, okay, under the command of James Prince. And once again, that's public. I'm not doxing anything he's done. I don't know anything James Prince. I don't even know James Prince. I just know what he says. And I can't tell you that Carlos, by the way, guys, hey, James, Carlos is telling people who take off, and he's also telling people who the guy who take off. It's a lot of talking, guys. It's a lot of talking. And that's for you guys. He's got loose lips, extremely loose lips.
Okay, so BitBoy is now bringing James Prince into all of this, talking about the Black Mafia, and just openly discussing more stuff about murder. But I shit you not, it gets better.
Hold on, I gotta watch out in case this is actually... I gotta make sure that I can get some protection if I need it. Okay. It's just a neighbor. Well, you guys see, when I see a car coming down the street, I have to think about protecting myself. That's where I'm at, guys. This is not paranoia. This is not a crazy person. This is not someone who is erratic. This is not someone who is on drugs. This is someone who has been in the fear for his life for too long. And now, somebody just texted me, said they're going to call the cops. I will really enjoy the cops coming here. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Listen to those words, man. He needs to get some protection if he needs it. He brought a gun to this guy's house. He says he feared for his life, but he advertised a live stream at his business partner's home, brought a gun, and then talks about how he'd enjoy if someone called the cops. Can we say foreshadowing? People really have to watch the entire thing to get the full picture. It's unbelievable. But then we get to this part.
He said, I'm going to have to go solve that problem. That's what this man tells me. Remember, the death threats. The death threats. So what occurs is he tells me, he says, hey man, there's no worries about this. We can definitely do this because I'm in with the FBI. He says, I have an FBI agent that works at the Atlanta office. I want you guys to think about how effed up all this is. He says, I've got an agent at the Atlanta office named Rico. What a coincidence. When you look up Agent Rico, you can't find it because of the RICO Act.
Ah, so his business partner knows someone in with the FBI or whatever he said. He knows an agent named Rico, supposedly, who can't be found because of the RICO Act. And the whole thing is just teetering on the brink. I mean, just a tiny breath and it will fall over the edge of the cliff. And then the cops actually do show up. Funny thing here is that right before the grand finale, and believe you me, it is a grand finale, BitBoy decides to go rapid fire and give us this little gem.
Here come the police, guys. Here come the police. Here come the police. Here they are. Here they are. Here's the police. Here's the police. Police are here, guys. So we'll have to talk to him here in a second. Here's the point. He goes out there. He doesn't even go out there. He pays someone to take pictures in front of Ben Dotti's house, okay? And then he tells them, I better hurry up quickly here. He told me he went out there and roughed up Ben Dotti, fought him and beat him up, and Maxine Waters, a politician, told him to kill Ben Dotti with a fentanyl syringe.
That part is incredible. He just drops the bomb talking about Maxine Waters, contract murder, and fentanyl syringes. Maxine Waters, for anyone who doesn't know, is a politician, congresswoman of the 43rd California District, and ranking member of the House Financial Services Committee. She also had a bunch of meetings with Sam Bankman-Fried and things like that, so the conspiracy-minded people are going to love running with all this. And it's a pretty loaded last sentence before the cops arrest you. But he's not done. Oh, no, he is not done. He puts the phone down, and then the absolute grand finale best part. He tries to make the little Gucci fanny pack cover the camera when he threw it down, but he missed.
Stop.
Oh, stop. I couldn't hear.
You have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Take out your whatever fanny pack.
Sorry, I reached too fast. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Take out your
Sorry.
fanny pack.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay. I'll put the phone down. Okay.
Put the phone.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the phone down.
Put the fanny pack down.
Okay.
What's going on?
What's going on? This man inside of this house.
Actually, he's gonna check you real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the weapons.
I'm sorry. I have a. Okay. Okay. Yep. No weapons. No weapons.
Where in the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Yep.
Is anybody else in the car?
Yes, there's someone in the car.
Who's in the car? Who?
What's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yes.
Okay. Let's.
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my
All
truck.
right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this. But my wife is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We've got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie is a girl I had an affair with. She's involved in the situation with me and this guy here. My wife knows. We were just at my daughter's tennis match. Cassie and I have came over here because this man is extorting me. He's death threatening me. He stole my Lamborghini. My Lamborghini is in his garage right now. In his garage.
The sheer absurdity of all this just cannot possibly be overstated. He's stuck standing there with a camera on him, live on YouTube, acting strange in front of the police about a woman in his car, and is forced to admit that it's this woman named Cassie, which is relevant, I guess, because that's the woman he apparently had an affair with. I stayed clear of all that when I talked about this bullshit last time because it's out of bounds, in my opinion. I don't bring personal lives or talk about partners or kids or shit like that. I don't do it. But that ship has sailed for him, and it's pretty much unavoidable now, isn't it? It's everywhere, and there's no getting away from it, ever. This man scheduled a live stream in advance and went to see his old business partner because they took his Lambo. He brought a gun in the back seat. Fucking amateur. You put the gun in the glove box if it has a lock or the console vault specifically for that purpose, again, with a lock. You don't put it on the back seat of the truck. Anyway, he brought the woman he had an affair with on this little escapade, I guess I'll call it, and then screamed about his business partner, the Black Mafia, NFL players, extortion, million-dollar contracts, politicians, and hitmen until the cops came and arrested him in front of the entire world. I mean this when I say it. If that was all scripted, I mean top to bottom, I mean him becoming one of the biggest crypto influencers in the world, getting massive levels of fame and fortune, and then whatever the fuck happened after, where he loses the company to these people and all the weird criminal dealings that these people have and getting donations from his community and they took my Lambo and everything. If it was all scripted and intentional, Ben Armstrong is going to become one of the great name entertainers of our entire lifetime. Because in a world where most things have become recycled, bland, and uninteresting, he managed to create a non-stop roller coaster of plot twists better than anything I've seen recently from Hollywood. But I don't know. I don't think it's all fake. I don't think it's scripted. I think this man I think this is real. Bottom line, and this legitimately should be the last time I talk about this because it's gone way too far now. It's like TMZ drama status, and I had some personal investment because I talked about him, and he had some shit to say about me on Twitter once. I don't know, whatever. I don't really want to discuss it anymore. This should be the conclusion. Bottom line, the implosion of BitBoy crypto seems to be complete. The world is healing. And whether or not he ends up in jail for a longer period of time doesn't really matter because, I mean, the future, he's not going to be able to go back to what he was doing, which is just nonstop financial damage to everyone who ever listens to him. I think those days are over. I think the world is healing and he's pretty much done. The man has caused incalculable amounts of financial damage to people in his audience in particular. He has perpetuated an industry that just parasitically drains the world around it of resources, and he did it in the company of people who were probably just as bad as him, okay? I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, well, his business partners are good. I don't know. They're probably scumbags looking at how all of this has gone down. It's just, he's the one doing this live on YouTube. So, I mean, he's the one that's going to catch most of the flack from the internet. Anyway, we're talking about large sums of money here. He's talking about major, major crimes. And witnessing people, I don't know, just become completely unhinged on this level of behavior, it's content, I'll say that. But yeah, anyone who wants to follow it from here for themselves, because I'm not going to talk about this anymore, be my guest. It's easy to follow, and I'm sure there's going to be more. But yeah, I'll stay clear. I warned about this dude for a long time. I specifically talked about the damage he was doing and the future he probably had. I speculated on how and when and why he would implode like a dying star. And now he has. The end. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. That's it.